I hate trying to be a bigger, better person. It sucks. Like trying to learn shit. You know what I mean? Like, I admit when I'm wrong. I don't like being wrong, but I admit it. But still, I like being a dick. Yeah, I'm gonna be real, and it's just like, but maybe there's a better way to communicate ideas. Man, I don't like this. I don't like taking the high road. Goddamn. But the even theory, bro, people, like, do you even theory, bro, people? What the fuck? Is this what we need right now? Like, literally, we got Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump is obviously, like, has a huge groundswell of support. Dude actually has, like, neo-fascist tendencies. And you guys are like, bro. Like, bro, man. Like, I don't even think you fucking theory, bro. You're not even leftist. You're liberal. Like, how, like, literally, I could not imagine, like, a worse idea. The left is already reeling. Bernie Sanders is completely just like Joe Biden, rah-rah. Same thing with AOC, the squad. And even on people who are just done with the Democratic Party, like, I'm never voting Democrat again. You got people creating more dividing lines, like, out of nowhere, like, even theory, bro. I think you theory, bro. You're not even a real fucking leftist. You're a liberal. That is such a liberal thing to fucking say. Let me just tell you, like, do you not like Joe Biden? You must be a Donald Trump supporter. Do you even theory, bro? Are you not even theory, bro? You must be a fucking liberal. Like, that's some liberal shit right there, all right? That's real liberal shit. For real. Fucking for real. God damn. It's just hilarious. But I'm that's it. I'm gonna leave it there for now and talk about, like, all the many fucking faults of what you guys are talking about. Like, there's a lot. There's a ton. There's a ton. First off. There's there's this idea that I have, it's it's a term I came up with, which is it might actually exist. Maybe I didn't come up with it anyways. This is called critical mass. You know what I mean? It's definitely not a term, but I'm talking about for political ends. You know what I mean? There is a point where you can hit critical mass. And what is critical mass? It's pretty much the idea that you can get rid of 50,000 people from Wall Street. You're not going to get rid of 500,000 people from Wall Street. You know what I mean? Like, there is a point where the mass of the public gets so big that the very institutions that would try to quell it or squash it literally don't have the capacity to do it. And as such, you can then have a message or capacity to present a message to the people or around that subject matter and shut down something like Wall Street, which would be huge. You know what I mean? Like, you get 500,000 people outside of Wall Street and you're just like, no, we're shutting this down. Fuck you. Like, literally. That would be dope. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of ideas and the understanding that you kind of need if you want to talk about a revolution. You have to hit critical mass at some point. You have to understand where you need to hit critical mass. What is the message of hitting critical mass? And why and how do you accomplish that goal? Because in a revolution or in anything that you're like, what you got, and this is, I don't know how they don't understand this because all the theory seems to have not helped. Your job is not to talk amongst yourself with people who agree with you. Your job is to talk to people who don't know why you're doing what you're doing. It's one of the biggest failures that Occupy Wall Street had the first time around. And I know because I was watching this shit. I was like, Jesus Christ. I actually predicted Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party movement. I predicted the Tea Party movement like months before it happened. And then I predicted Occupy Wall Street like years before it happened. I predicted them at the same time. But the major point, the reason I say that is because one of the things that I knew, and it's still a problem on the left, was that the left, when it comes to personal kind of ego or beliefs or identities or ideas, the left is still very much so divided. Because you got people who are like, I want to legalize drugs, or I want to fight for healthcare, or I want to, I want to deal with climate change. The problem that the left has had inherently is the fact that people have yet to come to the comprehension, the conclusion that at the end of the day, we all kind of agree on that stuff, and we need to actually come together under one big banner of all of that stuff and come under that one big banner against the entire, Democratic and Republican and corporate establishment government that we have. Our government is a corporatocracy. I think that's the word. Anyways, Anyways, there is a plutocracy. You know, it's pretty. What I think the government is a government ran by currency. That's honestly what I think our government currently is, and I think they try to export that across the country, across the world. You know what I mean? It's why we attack all these countries, why we destroy all these countries, because of the fact we want to force these countries into submission under the United States dollar and petrodollar. It's a longer story, much more. I would have to go into a lot more detail. That's not 100% accurate, but for very general, vague brushes, it will work. Anyways, the point that I'm making is that the left needs to understand that we're all fighting for these same issues. We all want healthcare. We all want to stand up against the war on drugs, all this. But the real issue is, I think the general banner that we're all really want to come under is freedom means freedom for everybody, or else it isn't freedom. And the real difficulty that we're having here is that there is a side, and now this side also exists on the left. It used to be, back just on the right, in the early 2000s was, freedom means I have freedom from you having your freedoms. You know what I mean? That's how certain people on the right think, and again, like I said, now on the left think that like freedom, their comprehension of freedom means I have freedom from you not having your freedom, meaning I'm in control, I'm superior, you're inferior, and through that capacity, I'm in a legitimate position, and you're, in a legitimate position in my own sense of mentality, in my own mindset. But the reality is that most people who are truly on the left, I don't care if you even theory bro, actually believe that freedom for everybody is the actual condition that we need to look and grow towards. And I think it's a legitimate position. And I also agree with Marx on Marx was fucking right. You know what I mean? He was very fucking right. I also think that there's more stuff in the world, more stuff within politics, within philosophy, that there's other ideas that we can take account of, and that we can think about, and that we can understand, and that we can grow to affiliate into our own comprehension, our own understanding. And I've brought this up a couple of times. Like Sun Tzu, I think is, very good reading, and if I was going to be honest, I think it's required reading. I'm not saying that if you don't read Sun Tzu, you're not on the left, though, you know what I mean? I just think it's inherently helpful to actually developing your capacity to evaluate and understand the conditions of kind of combat. Even if that combat isn't actually violent or physical, what you need to understand is the object of actually engaging in combative ideas or combative exchanges, and what the ultimate goal is, what the end game is with all of that. Because by doing that, by understanding Sun Tzu, and this is the thing about Sun Tzu and the Art of War specifically, once you begin to kind of comprehend how it works, there's a lot of moving pieces. You actually have to think and implement it. You know what I mean? It's not something that you can just like listen to and get. You actually have to understand it on its own. It's like mathematics. You know what I mean? For you to fully grasp Sun Tzu, you have to learn addition, subtraction. After you learn addition, subtraction, you have to learn multiplication, division. After that, you have to learn algebra and powers. You know what I mean? You have to understand the basic elements, but once you understand the basic elements, then it becomes a tool for you to evaluate and engage with these situations and these capacities as a beneficial capacity for you to observe and comprehend the world around you. It's a beneficial towards your continual education as an individual, observing the world from your subjective point of view. Anyways, the point that I bring all of this up to be is that in order to understand what you're trying to accomplish has to be a part of your focus. And what is the focus of any society? It is to come together to do more for each other than we could ever do individually. You know what I mean? Like I can go live off in the woods if if I have the training and everything, but there's certain things I like. I like mathematics. I like physics. You know what I mean? I like studying this stuff, and because of the fact our society has came to this position of working towards these things, I get to learn and get the benefits of this collective action. The problem that we're dealing with is that we live in a society that now worships the very conception of money, which is a tool that humanity created. A tool that has now completely gone off the rails, because instead of money being a tool that is used to help develop the benefit of humanity itself, humanity is now working towards to serving a tool that is inanimate. And if anybody thinks money is more important than people, let me ask you just one, like a quick thought problem. If there's no people, what is money going to do? Huh? Like, is it gonna I don't know what money's gonna fucking do. It's gonna do nothing. Because it's a tool used to help and aid human communication, is not the be-all, end-all of anything. And the point is, and the reason I'm putting this video, I put in a couple other videos, It's because our job is to educate. It's to educate people. That is a very simple comprehension I think most people get. Money is a tool that is created by humanity, like language. English is a language. Spanish is a language. French is a language. Japanese is a language. Whole bunch of languages, but they are all tools used to help humanity grow, communicate, and connect and understand one another. If you can understand that, then you have to understand what your job is as a revolutionary first and foremost. You need to begin to educate people about new possibilities, new understandings, new ideas, because a lot of people have lived in this corrupt, propagandized society for so fucking long that to even question the very nature of the society is such a foreign idea. It's like speaking Japanese to people when you're speaking flat out English. And so, and the reason this is because you need allies, you need support, because of the fact you can't create a fucking massive society with 2% of the fucking population, okay? You can't do it. You have to talk to people and be like, listen, this is how we can live in a better capacity. This is how we can collectively come together and change the system to be more beneficial for everybody. It is inherently about education, and it's not about having some superiority over anybody else. It is that, and that is the dumbest shit. But it's just like time and time and time again, I see so much goddamn fucking egotism in the left. It's like, you don't feel like you do have the power to actually really take on the government, and because you're frustrated about that, instead of actually just understanding, well, this kind of sucks, maybe I should, change up the strategy or do something different. Like, so many times people on the left are like, you know what, I don't feel like I have power, what's my problem? Oh, this other fucking leftist isn't agreeing with me. Fuck you, asshole, you're a fucking liberal. Like, that's not helping. It's not fucking helping. Like, y'all motherfuckers need to grow the fuck up. For real. And it's infuriating because of the fact it's like, do you even think, fucking bro? Like, yeah, I do. But I don't think you do. I don't think you understand the basic necessities of what actually leads to a revolution. You need to have the public come to a level of comprehension about what you're saying, why you're saying it, and why you're doing it. And I'll give you the best example. I was using this, but I'm talking about Wall Street, but I forgot to actually say it. Occupy Wall Street had one of the most they had a moment in time in history unlike anything the country has ever seen. And the problem that Occupy Wall Street happened, the problem that happened with Occupy Wall Street was very simple. All these different groups, all these different organizations, you had people who were pro-vegan. Horrible idea. I remember hearing people talk about, like, we're here for animal rights, and I was literally just there like, you guys have fucked this thing. Like, listen. Occupy Wall Street. I get it. Veganism is right. I was a vegetarian for 17 damn years, so I understand. Do you even vegan, bro? So leave me. Sorry. So I'm not a vegan right now. Sorry. God damn, it's been 2 days not stopping that shit. I just been like, what the fuck? What is happening right now? Anyways. Sorry. The point was, and this is it. When Occupy Wall Street first started, it had approval ratings like in like 87, and I think like the high hit the 90s. You know what I mean? For Occupy Wall Street, and because people had a general understanding, like, yeah, fuck Wall Street. This is after the crash. This is after people had gotten screwed over. This is after people, were reeling from, the economic downturn that we freaking had, all caused by Wall Street. And after it was caused by Wall Street, what had happened? They got bonuses. You know what I mean? Occupy Wall Street had the freaking microphone of the entire American public. And the problem is they didn't come up with a cohesive message. You know what I mean? And the message was simple as fuck. You know what I mean? I would remember, I was going through such a mental breakdown at that point in time. If I wasn't, I would have hopped on a fucking plane, go out there and been like, look, this is the message. Shut up. Hey, this is the message. And what was the message? At the end of the day, Wall Street has, in their unfettered greed, in their unfettered capacity of selfishness, of just insanity, nearly destroyed this world economy. And it has left millions without their homes, millions without life savings, and it has destroyed some very elemental levels of the fabric of our society. And not only have they not gotten punished, not only has none of these people been prosecuted by this like bullshit government, they got bonuses for nearly destroying the world economy. Bonuses. for nearly destroying the world economy. This is unfair and it's illegitimate, and we demand change. We demand change now, and we demand that the American public get what it deserves, which is a fair shake, which is a fair shot, a shot that Wall Street itself is determined to take away from the average working American. It's unacceptable. And that would have been an effective message that you would have had 100% of the American public. And then you could actually have demands, like we put this demand on Congress. Then you would have that explode. But instead, the left was divided on, like, stupid terms. Like, people were there for, drug legalization. People were there to support veganism. And it's just like, those things are all great. They are. But at the end of the day, you need to understand why your message has to be clean, crisp, and understandable. And it does not help to divide yourself against other people who agree with you. Because sometimes, and this is just a simple thing, I'm willing to stand for LGBTQ rights, 1,000%. Not my community, but I'm there. Because I understand that if I'm willing to do that, that I hope that they'll stand for black rights. You understand? And that I'm gonna stand up for, to change our prison industrial complex. First off, it's evil, and it goes against the very nature of, cruel and unusual punishment. People get raped in prison. You know what I mean? I still don't understand why that hasn't been brought up to the Supreme Court. Anyways, that's another story altogether. But Joe Biden's a piece of shit. No, horrible piece of shit. God, he's gonna burn in hell. Anyways, hi. Yeah, I'm the liberal. I'm the liberal over here. Anyways, totally a liberal. The point is that we need to understand what we're really trying to do. And what we're trying to do is build community. What we're trying to do is say that by coming together as people, we still have the capacity, just like governments, just like societies came together throughout all time in history, we still have that power and capacity as humans to come together and create a better society and do things and help one another and care for one another. By actually creating that society in kind of a microcosm, which is what the Black Panthers did. You know what I mean? They created their own system, their own kind of zone of education, of understanding, of development, and they even have their own police force, so they developed some system of autonomy, or what you consider police force. So by developing this system of autonomy, they were giving the people within these communities the capacity to educate, grow, and learn upon their own capacities. And so you could teach stuff like Marxism, which you'll never learn in any American high school, because of the fact that they actually did have the capacity to build what? Community. And so the very nature of all of this stuff on the left, if people truly believe that this is what we want to do, we want to create a more socialist society, and I am much more socialist than I am communist, and there is a difference. If you don't understand the difference, look it the fuck up, man. Like, seriously, there's a difference. Now, doesn't mean I don't support communism and people doing that, because it's close enough to what I want that I'm willing to fight for that. But the point is simply this. It should be about creating community. It should be about showing and teaching people, reminding people about the nature of what a society and at larger capacities a government is. It is a collective system of agreement, connection, and association used to help benefit as many people as possible and to do for each other what we cannot do for ourselves individually. That's the comprehension. That's really the comprehension. And building that community is the most important thing, because a community that is welcoming, that gives people education, that helps them learn, that helps them grow, that has outreach capacities, that has, let's say, a network of freaking mutual aid and a whole bunch of other stuff, has the actual capacity to change people's understanding of the world and the society around them by actually implementing these actions. And I know a lot of people are doing that. But if you're going to go out of your way to insult everybody who doesn't agree with your do you even theory bro crap, the only thing you're going to do is divide the left even more. And it honestly, and it looks a lot like you guys have a lot of fucking egotism involved in this, which is like, oh, I'm right. I'm fucking right. I'm right. You know why I'm right? I got all these people agree with me. I'm right. So fuck you. You're a liberal. And you're a fucking child. So this is what I would leave people with. Marx was right, 1,000%. But at the end of the day, what you are trying to do is you're trying to find the messages that work to achieve your goal and objective. Because I guarantee you're going to have a much better capacity to achieve your goal if you have 15 to 20% of the American public on your side. And to get that 15 to 20% of the American public on your side, you're going to have to learn to talk to a lot of people who are different than you. and going out of your way to insult everybody who isn't with you 100 fucking percent on everything that you fucking think is not going to help any of this move forward. It is just there to massage your own fucking ego, and that's something you might want to look in the mirror about, because of the fact it's not out here. You're not going to find the solution to that on fucking Twitter. It is about creating community. It is about education. And if you think that not enough people are reading theory, then start a fucking campaign to teach people about Marxism. Because guess what? I fucking support it, you arrogant shitheads. Like, seriously, the fuck is wrong with you? I would support that shit. If you had this, like, campaign, like, you know what? Marxism has been fucking, there's not enough people really talking about Marxism. Let's start a fucking campaign, an online campaign. Let's see if we can get more people to support Marxism and read Marx and kind of comprehend his ideas. And let's make videos that kind of make it easily to understand and digest. That's a great fucking idea. But you're not doing that. No, what you're doing is you're getting on Twitter and calling everybody fucking liberals. Like, yeah, that's of course, that's the fucking change that we need. You know what I mean? Let's divide the left more. So, just want to say, Do You Even Theory, bro, is not that fucking smart, and it's turning Marxism to a religion. You know what I mean? It's like, do you agree with me on all these tenets? I agree with Marx, and I agree with his position on pretty much everything, but I don't believe in degrading people as a mechanism for change. I just don't think that is an effective way to do that or go about that. So, yeah, that's my position on it. So that Do You Even Theory, bro, shit ain't helping. And any other people who attack activists, you know what I mean, who are taking a different position than you're taking, is childish and it's bullshit. It for real is. You know what I mean? We don't have to agree on every fucking issue. If you support Medicare for all, you support decriminalization, you support ending the prison industrial complex, I'll fucking stand with you. If you're sincere about that, not like a grifter or an infiltrator, I'll fucking stand with you. You know what I mean? And I've had my fair share of having to deal with infiltrators. Anyways. The point is, and I guess the point is that there is some room for, exclusion. But literally going out of your way to say, like, you just, like, pissed off half the fucking left. We're actually, like, revolutionaries by saying, like, oh, we're not leftists because why? Because we first had to submit to your arbitrary system of judgment. That's what being a leftist is. Okay, fuck off. You know what I mean? You're not helping anything. And that's for your ego, again. So, yeah. Build community. That's it. And help educate people and be willing to work with people you may disagree with on a few different issues. You know what I mean? It's not about being 100% in line. It's like, are you 100% against this capitalistic system? Yes. That's what's important. You need to understand the right question if you want to get the right answer. And the right question is not how do we fucking divide and start a shitstorm on Twitter today. It's not helping. Deuces.